was a terrible throw.
I'm laying down.
Order in the court. Thank you. Now, all rise. The Court of Public Opinion is now in session. The Honorable Chief Justice Kristin and Associate Justice Austin presiding. Now calling to trial the multiverse's most controversial social debate topics. They shall be resolved once and for all. You may be seated.
Yes, I do.
Welcome to the Court of Public Opinion podcast, where wah 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 wah.
Peanuts!
I'm your Chief Justice, Kristin Bradley.
And I'm your Associate Justice, Austin Andrade.
Welcome back to the courtroom, Peanuts. Happy Saturday and happy Speak Kind Words Saturday. So after this episode, go out and say something nice to a fellow meat sack. Hope you all had a good week and enjoyed our non-dairy milk debate last Saturday.
Yay.
Well, what's new this week?
Well, what's new with us? Well, I joined a cult. Kristin's paddleboard cult, to be particular. We're calling it the Standing Seas. I made it up. Is that okay?
I guess.
We're calling it the Standing Seas, and there are currently only 2 members. Us. But if any of you peanuts happen to paddleboard as well, join our cult. Cult.
Yeah. Join our cult.
Yeah.
Well,
and we also got burnt.
Oh.
So if you're joining our cult,
wear sunscreen.
be prepped. Unlike us.
I'm in so much pain, and Austin put aloe on me yesterday, and I cried.
If you're watching the video and you can tell by our complexions, we might look a little bit more red than prior.
I'd like to think that I'm a rose gold.
Rosie the Riveter.
No. Last week I talked about taking a food sensitivity test.
And how I got to stab you.
In the finger. And I got my results. And it turns out I'm allergic to everything. From egg whites to almonds to potatoes to literally anything that tastes good. What the fuck, man?
I'm so sorry.
Now I have to eliminate all of the things from my diet.
But it'll be a fun challenge. And, grotesque optimism alert. It'll be a fun challenge to have to find recipes and foods that we can make that won't kill Kristin or turn her into a burrito every day. Because whenever that happens, Kristin has to curl up into a blanket and just be catatonic for a few hours.
And I can't do that because now I'm in school. So.
It's remote school though, right?
Yeah, but I'm on camera. So I can't just be a burrito in the middle of class.
Hello, everyone. This is me.
Dealing with some stomach problems, so please excuse me while I'm laying down.
Don't mind.
In the back.
Disregard the woman behind the burrito blanket.
I need a tortilla blanket.
They exist, and I will buy one. Happily.
Last update, guys. Remember to join us September 6th through the 12th for a virtual 5K to support suicide prevention and awareness. You can find our group link on Instagram at CoPOPod. Just follow the instructions to sign up, and you can share your training progress and race with us with the hashtag CoPOJOG, CoPOjog.
Hashtag CoPOjog.
Hashtag.
So be sure to sign up ASAP, and we also have the link and instructions in the episode description. All right. Now let's set up our argument space to bring our positive energies into our argument.
What candle are we burning today?
Today, we're bringing it back to one of the originals. We'll be burning our Dalmatian Jasper Balancing Candle. Ooh, here it is. Dalmatian Jasper Balancing Candle. Dalmatian Jasper is said to be a stone that aids you to break down barriers that you have created as a protection around yourself. It may also relieve the need to take revenge on anyone who you feel has done you wrong, as its vibration helps you release any lack of trust in other people. This allows you to move forward in life and discover your true purpose for being here. Its energy brings childlike joy and a sense of playfulness into your life.
I think we'll need this one as far as taking revenge goes.
And
I'm not a vengeful person, but my buddy over here.
I'm vengeful? You want to fight about it?
Not easy, is it?
No, it's not. Took a couple of tries. I can't even get it lit properly. There we go. Ooh, fire's coming out of all the places. Come on. Burn.
Jesus, who let him have lighter?
Fire, 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 fire. Why aren't you lighting? There we go. The candle is lit. Do you feel balanced yet?
Woo.
It's got some time to kick in. It is knocking out smoke and fumes like nobody's business.
All right, well, that gets itself settled. It's disclaimer time. This is an intentionally argumentative podcast. We choose to take opposing sides of an argument for the sake of entertainment, whether or not our personal values align with it. The Court of Public Opinion podcast and its hosts do not necessarily endorse the views expressed in this program. Please do not pass judgment on our individual character based on these arguments. We're just here to have a good time, yelling at each other, and they're silly debate topics, so I don't know. Now that that's out of the way, let's go. What are we arguing today?
Peanuts. How do you butter them? How do you like them buttered? Creamy style or chunky?
Ew.
And I was addressing the actual nut, not our listeners, the peanuts. But you know what? While we're at it, peanuts, this episode is out to you because we're talking about peanut butter.
Yeah. Where did this argument originate then?
Well,
Oh.
to look at where this argument started,
Oh boy.
we have to go all the way back in time, see the pages of the calendar fly past as the sun rotates from the west to the east in reverse fashion, many, many years. According to the National Peanut Board, the leading authority on all things peanut, contrary to popular belief, George Washington Carver did not invent peanut butter. Actually, the earliest reference to peanut butter can be traced back to the ancient Incas and Aztecs who ground roasted peanuts into a paste. However, modern peanut butter and its process in the production and the equipment that we use to make it can be credited to at least 3 inventors. Like in 1884, a man named Marcellus Gilmore Edson of Canada patented peanut paste, the finished product from milling roasted peanuts between 2 heated surfaces. In 1895, Dr. John Harvey Kellogg of Kellogg's cereal fame patented a process creating peanut butter from raw peanuts. He marketed it as a nutritious protein substitute for people who could hardly chew on solid food. And in 1903, Dr. Ambrose Straub of St. Louis, Missouri, patented a peanut butter making machine. Now, it wasn't until 1934 when Joseph Rosefield, founder of Skippy, first added peanut granules to the original creamy peanut butter, thus developing crunchy or chunky peanut butter.
So he made peanut butter and then added chunks to it?
Hell yeah, he did. And that's what sparked this debate.
Well, the internet certainly has strong feelings about a lot of food debates, but this is just one of them, and this debate divides households and ruins relationships. Maybe. According to the National Peanut Board, again, the leading source on all things peanuts, Americans spend almost $800 million on peanut butter each year, and 90% of households in the U.S. consume peanut butter. But what kind of peanut butter do people like better? We're here to settle this debate once and for all. All right. I'm going to go first.
Oh, yeah, by all means.
Because you went first last
Let's get right
time.
into it. I'm going to get you 10 minutes on the timer. Is that good?
Jesus.
10 minutes.
Send help.
Get ready, get set, and argue.
Good day, Your Honors, and may it please the court. Kristin Bradley on behalf of Creamy Peanut Butter, and I'd like to reserve forever for rebuttals. Creamy peanut butter is better. Duh. First and foremost, peanut butter was created creamy, as I just said. The people who made peanut butter made it creamy, and then someone was like, I'm gonna add chunks to this because I'm a fucking weirdo. And as we've said many times on this podcast, the inventor's intent controls. Therefore, creamy is inherently better than everyone's choice of peanut butter should be creamy because that's how it was intended to be made.
All right.
I could rest on this argument, but we all know me much better than that by now. So continuing, surveys prove that creamy peanut butter is way better than chunky. The National Peanut Board, again, the leading source for information on peanuts, they state that 60% of people prefer creamy peanut butter to crunchy peanut butter. No one can argue with the National Peanut Board, not even you. They have also found that women and children lean towards creamy while men lean toward crunchy. And we all know my philosophy on men's opinions. Trash. Just kidding. But there is a saying that says, yes, the woman is always right. And well, this is probably the only time I'm willing to give in to that misogynistic saying. We women are certainly right about the fact that creamy peanut butter is better than crunchy. So
I'm not a fan of that phrase either.
I didn't ask.
No.
And I have a statistic from Creamy and Crunchy, an informal history of peanut butter, the all-American food, that states that 80% of peanut butter sold in the United States is creamy peanut butter.
An informal history?
Why are you
I'm
arguing
getting hung
about
up
the
on
semantics of the title of a book? Weirdo.
Because history is not informal. It is fact.
17%. 17% of peanut butter sold in the U.S. is crunchy, with the remaining 3%, if you can do math, which I cannot, but 3% is from peanut butter and jelly mixtures sold in the same jar.
Ew.
The numbers speak for themselves, Your Honor. He's right. Ew.
I don't like that at all. Mixing peanut in the same jar, it tastes weird.
It's for lazy people.
Yeah, well, lazy people don't know
Or overwhelmed
anything.
people, because I feel like moms might buy that because they don't have time to go to 2 different jars. You know, they're just trying to, whatever.
Moms, it's worth the wait. And if you buy those, you're an uncultured
They don't
swine.
have time. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Last statistic for you guys is that 70% of college students prefer creamy peanut butter, and college students are the backbone of opinions in the USA. So there. Case closed. But statistics only go so far, so let's get into some more cold hard facts. Creamy peanut butter is better for cooking, baking, and smoothies. Creamy peanut butter, first of all, creamy peanut butter is way easier to spread onto bread, toasted or untoasted. You cannot disagree that it's harder to spread crunchy peanut butter on untoasted bread. And side note, we like to toast our bread for peanut butter and jellies, but apparently this is a hot debate topic as well, because that divides the household here in Austin's house. Just a small side note.
My roommate insists that you cannot toast bread because it is already a cooked item.
But that's what it's toast.
Toast
not
is a
bread.
bajillion times better than regular bread.
One thing we can agree on. One thing, people.
The only thing, apparently.
Creamy peanut butter is also easier to be licked off a spoon. Everyone does this, and if you say you don't, you're a liar. Lying is bad. So just admit that you also like
Lying is bad.
Just admit that you like to eat peanut butter off the spoon like the rest of us.
Can I quote the Book of Mormon?
We're going to get copyright.
Well, being gay is bad, but lying is worse. So just realize you have a curable curse and turn it off.
You're annoying. Moving on. We also love to bake and work with fun recipes in this house. And one thing is for sure. You cannot bake with crunchy peanut butter. We made vegan peanut butter chocolate chip cookies last weekend that we just ate again this weekend.
Delightful.
And Austin, what did the recipe say? It said, do not use crunchy peanut butter because it will not bake well. So there. I know I don't need to say more, but I will. Smoothies. You can make a smoothie go from a 5 to a 10 real quick just by adding some smooth peanut butter. Smoothies are supposed to be smooth. It's in the name. Oof. I don't like fruit chunks in my smoothies, especially the whole thing, like getting stuck in the straw thing. No one wants that. So why would that change for peanut butter? Spoiler alert, doesn't. So don't do it. In sum, smoothies need to stay smooth and baked goods need to stay chewy. Period.
Okay, if it goes in a smoothie, it's getting blended. So
Oh my
wouldn't that blend it
God, that's not how it works. If you blend peanuts, they're just going to be smaller chunks of peanuts. You have to grind them. Didn't we talk about how you make peanut butter in the opening? Stop interrupting me. There is an inconsistency. This is argument number 4, by the way. There is an inconsistency in the texture of crunchy peanut butter that is impossible to reconcile. Impossible, I tell you. When you eat crunchy peanut butter, there will inevitably be a section where you are of whatever you're putting into your body. There is inevitably a section of whatever you're getting into, like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, where you get just a cluster of nuts and no butter.
Ooh, cluster of nuts?
When I signed up for a PB&J, I signed up for peanut butter and jelly, not peanut cluster and jelly. Kevin Alexander of Thrillist said it best when he said, 1 second you'll be chewing smooth peanutty bliss, and the next second your mouth is dry from 8 peanuts overwhelming the flavor of that lovely insert preferred jelly, jam, preserved flavor here, and the lightly toasted insert bread choice here. Okay, first of all, he likes his bread toasted when he eats PB&J, so he's clearly correct. That's all I have to say about that. You don't want 8 peanuts drying your mouth while you're trying to enjoy
They're
peanut
not
butter.
whole peanuts.
Shut up. It is the amount of 8 whole peanuts in a cluster inside of this freaking gross chunky peanut butter. Gross. Let's take it to the 5th argument. Chunky peanut butter looks and sounds gross. Let's start with the obvious. Chunky is a disgusting word. Anything with chunks or of anything in it is about as unappetizing as you can make things sound. Chunky is also a word you use to describe barf. Now, some of you are saying, well, Kristin, you idiot, we call it crunchy peanut butter. Well, check your labels, folks, because a shit ton of them say something nasty like chunk or super chunk. Barf, barf, barf. That's just nasty.
But what about our seal friend?
His name is Chunk.
Yeah.
He's not chunky.
He was
Little
chunky,
chunk.
though.
He's like a chunk. Like Molly, she's a chunk.
This is the cult bleeding into the podcast, but when we went paddleboarding yesterday, we met a seal.
What are you doing?
Oh!
You can
I'll pause it.
keep telling your story,
Yeah,
but I'm gonna
yeah.
take all of this time to continue my argument on the other side.
Fine. We met a seal, and he was a chonky boy, and Kristin was like, hey, we should name him. I think his name is Chip. And then I was thinking Chuck. And then we look at each other and we were like, Chunk. And that's exactly how that happened. Tell me otherwise.
We named our first pet.
Mm-hmm.
His name is Chunk.
His name is Chunk.
We have a pet seal named Chunk.
And I'm going to go back and find him, and then I'm going to love him, even though I don't think he loves me back.
It's okay. We have a Chunk and a Chonk. Shout out to Molly.
Molly Cristo. You may now continue your argument. You have a minute left.
Well, I just said barf like 8 times and then said that's just nasty. So, I'm going to move on to the visual aspect of this. Now, hear me out. Have you ever looked down at your freshly spread creamy peanut butter and thought, ew, this looks like a cat just barfed on my sandwich and I just want to eat that all up? The answer is no, you haven't, because, oh yeah, that only occurs with nasty looking chunky peanut butter. Seriously, it's ugly. I mean, fugly.
I mean, fugly.
It is bumpy brown goo, which just saying that out loud makes me want to dry heave. When I wrote it, I was like, that's funny.
Well, if
Now,
you describe anything like that, it's going to sound
bumpy
awful.
brown goo, that's what it looks like. Smooth peanut butter, on the other
Okay,
hand.
ignore bumpy, though, and then you have smooth peanut butter, That's just brown goo.
No, it's not. It's not goo.
That's
It
gross.
is smooth and soft and beautiful. And after you spread it, you just look at it and go, hell yeah, I just want to dive into that right fucking now because it looks and tastes good. Okay. Now, before you jump on me, right? Before you jump on me and call me. Okay.
Like that?
Yes, just like that. But before you call me shallow or superficial or claim that I'm just like society for idolizing pretty things or whatever bullshit is about to come out of your mouth, that's not true. That's not even close to being true. I have a horrible relationship with food. Like I just talked about, I'm allergic to literally everything and I get sick very easily when I eat food. So why on earth would I go and eat something that looks like cat puke? Something so gross. If I have such a hard time eating in the first place. Exactly. I wouldn't. So, stay in your lane, buddy. Creamy is easier to eat. And easier to keep down for some of us. And that's why I like it. Now, speaking of easy to eat, creamy peanut butter doesn't get stuck in your teeth the way that crunchy does or whatever mouth crevices you have going on in your mouth. Because I know I have one back here where my wisdom teeth are not supposed to be. I am already a person who has a hard time eating for many reasons, but one of the most annoying reasons is that I cannot move from one bite onto the next until all of the food is out of my teeth. And eating some foods makes this a real challenge. I take like 30 minutes trying to get one chunk of peanut butter out of my teeth from one bite of chunky peanut butter. And then all of a sudden I'm slowing the group down. The point is...
How do you handle popcorn?
What do you mean?
If you get like a kernel stuck in your
I said, it takes me 30 minutes to go from one bite to the next. But is there an option for creamy popcorn? No, there is not.
I guess that's a good point.
The point is, the peanut chunks get stuck in my mouth hole and is impossible to eat in a timely manner. One chunk lodges itself back there where my wisdom teeth are not supposed to be, and I am out of commission for at least 30 minutes. This never happens with creamy peanut butter. In some, creamy peanut butter keeps me on a timely eating schedule, which keeps everyone in the group happy because we won't have to sit at a table for an extra 2 hours while I'm trying to get chunks out of my teeth. And it keeps me happy because I don't feel the pressure to either give up on eating, which is bad, or to try to eat faster and choke in the process, which is also bad because then I die.
All of the above are true.
Creamy peanut butter saves lives. And
okay.
lastly, but certainly the most important, is that dogs can have creamy peanut butter. Oh my good Molly. Dogs are the most important creatures on this entire planet, and they deserve all the desserts we can give them. Our pupper friends love peanut butter. I mean, just go watch an episode of At Hello Dogs. At Oh Hello Dogs, Peanut Butter Opera Days, and you will get as much joy from watching a variety of puppers lick peanut butter off a spoon as they enjoy eating it.
How have you never shown me this before?
I have one of Molly, and it is the best thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
How have I never seen this before?
See it, and you will never be the same. Tonight,
I believe
done.
it.
Okay.
When we're done recording.
But the puppers cannot have chunky peanut butter because it will hurt them. They will choke on it, or they can't chew the chunks. So they can only have creamy peanut butter. And because puppers are the centers of the entire universe and our lives and should dictate everything we do or buy, we should all prefer creamy over crunchy peanut butter. So for the love of Molly, go buy yourself and your babies some peanut butter, but only the creamy kind. Thank you.
Bravo. That was an impassioned speech. Appreciate it so very, very much.
It was only, I worked myself up.
Yeah, you did. I didn't even need to say that much, and you were on fire. Okay. It's my turn to argue. You want to start the timer?
Give me that.
Okay.
All right. Are you ready?
I am ready.
3, 2,
Woohoo! 3.
1, go.
Good day, your honors, and may it please the court. Austin Andrade on behalf of Crunchy Peanut Butter. I'd like to reserve 5 minutes of peanuttle rebuttal. Is that a gross term?
Oh, gross.
I thought it was funny.
Peanuttle. Ick.
Crunchy or super chunk peanut butter. All the way. The creation of crunchy peanut butter was such a simple yet novel concept that made the original version so much better. I've got a list of arguments that we're going to get into, and this is the first one. Texture is everything when it comes to how good a certain food is, and having a particular texture can either make or break a food item that otherwise has a good taste. Incorporating the dichotomy of both smooth and crunchy textures gives peanut butter the extra oomph that it needs to turn a good product into a phenomenal one.
Is oomph a technical term?
An oomph, yes, you gotta give it that oomph.
Does Gordon Ramsay use that term?
No, but Joseph Rosefield certainly does. The founder of Skippy? I mean, don't quote me, but he definitely said oomph.
Who buys Skippy?
We do. Hold, please. I'm back, okay?
Funny you should mention Skippy.
We buy Skippy.
I
and
don't buy Skippy.
You know what this stuff tastes like.
And you know what the internet said about Skippy.
What
It is everybody's least favorite.
Nuh-uh.
Jif was number 1.
Jif is garbage.
Followed by Trader Joe's.
Jif doesn't even know how to pronounce
Trader
it.
Joe's was number 2. And I don't even remember what number 3 was. Probably Peter Pan.
I've never had Peter Pan.
Not the best. Or Goobers.
Goobers doesn't sound appetizing, but you know what does?
It's
Skippy Super Chunk.
It's the word for peanut.
Oh, a goofy goober.
I'm a goofy goober.
Rock! Okay, now it makes sense. My time is running out.
Good.
Argument number 2. Crunchy peanut butter is more exciting. It adds depth and dimension to your peanut-inspired snack or dish of choice. The fact that Super Chunk is a heterogeneous mixture of multiple textures is exactly what any...
Is that how you pronounce that word?
Yes, heterogeneous.
I thought it was heterogeneous.
Heterogeneous?
Yeah, because it's homogenous.
No.
So why would it be...
No, it's heterogeneous.
I don't like that.
The fact that it is a heterogeneous mixture of multiple textures is exactly what any self-loving human being needs to reinvigorate their life. Smooth peanutters are the kinds of people who never break away from the monotony of everyday life, while crunchy lovers, like myself, know how to shake it up and keep life exciting every passing day.
I'd just like to point out for everybody that he just called me boring.
Getting sassy.
You just... Oof.
Argument number 3. Crunchy
Stay tuned,
peanut
guys.
butter.
We're breaking up today.
Crunchy peanut butter reminds you that you're eating nuts. You can't spell peanut butter without the word nut.
Why? Can't the taste do that for itself? What kind of stupid argument is this?
The only... Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to start my sentence over. You can't spell peanut butter without the word nut, and only eating smooth or creamy makes you forget about...
No, it doesn't!
Yes, it does.
It tastes like peanuts!
It makes you forget about what makes peanut butter truly amazing, and it takes away from the essence of its primary ingredient, the peanut. Design intent matters. You and I both use this. And when peanuts were originally sold, the intent
This isn't the same thing as peanuts!
when they
It's
were
peanut butter!
when they were originally sold, the intent was to eat a small nut with a whole lot of crunch.
That's why they're buying peanut butter, not peanuts. Jesus Christ.
But
Molly Crystal.
But incorporating peanuts in their naturally crunchy form not only advanced our expectations of peanut butter into the future, but it also pays homage to the peanut butter's origins of the past, the original peanut.
The person who made it creamy.
And then Joseph Rosefield, praise be unto him, made
Molly
it
does
better.
not praise this man. Molly praises no man. Let's make that real
Very
clear.
And
She
no
actually
trash man does
hates
either.
men
Except me.
for now. I can change that.
You're going to convince her otherwise?
I don't think I could.
I have ingrained myself into the heart and
Although
soul
she
of
did
your
bark at
puppy.
you last week, so.
Just like once or twice because she hadn't seen me yet. And then she saw my face and then she got her little booty tail wag. What going on?
Booty wiggle tail wag.
Booty wiggle tail wag.
Trademark.
Argument number 4. Crunchy peanut butter is better by itself. Literally
Liar.
last night, we tried a spoonful of creamy peanut butter alongside a spoonful of crunchy peanut butter.
Actually, I didn't
and-
get to try the spoonful of crunchy peanut
You
butter
didn't?
because someone ate it all.
It was delicious. And that's exactly why.
So
It was
this
so
just in,
good.
people who eat crunchy peanut butter are selfish as fuck. But me, being the nice person I am, I made peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for everybody in this household. Creamy peanut butter eaters.
And what peanut butter did you
Are
use on
giving.
all of those peanut butter and jelly sandwiches? Crunchy, that's what.
Super chunk.
Super chunk.
And it tasted like shit.
It was so good, and everybody loved it, and people kept asking for more
Actually, they
because it
only
was
they
so
probably only loved
tasty.
it because I slaved really hard over these sandwiches, and they were all drunk. So
And for the record, I did not ask Kristin to make those sandwiches.
no, I asked everybody if they wanted a sandwich because I'm a really giving person, and I was not even close to intoxicated. So
The point is
there
that
is no point here.
creamy peanut butter by itself is like sucking on peanut glue that gets stuck to every surface inside your mouth, and there's nothing worse than feebly trying to scoop peanut butter from the roof of your mouth, while chunky peanut butter, or crunchy peanut butter, however you want to call it, has a level of chewability to it. And
Ew.
hey, if you get a peanut stuck in your teeth, that's just a tasty snack you can save for later.
That's disgusting.
Yum yum.
You disgust me.
Argument number 5. Now, for some health facts. Folate and fiber. Do you like bowel regularity? Well, I sure as hell do.
Really?
And
Couldn't tell.
with
You're having some
30%,
issues with that.
maybe I need to eat more super chunk peanut butter.
I don't think that's it.
But with 30% more fiber in crunchy peanut butter, it'll have you taking 30% more solid poops every time you take a seat on the porcelain throne. And crunchy peanut butter.
That's not how that works.
That totally is. Crunchy peanut butter also has higher amounts of folate, which is
He doesn't know.
crunchy peanut butter is also higher in folate, which is one of the B vitamins needed for red and white blood cell production. Adequate folate intake is extremely important during periods of rapid growth, such as pregnancy and childhood. So, future moms and children should be eating more crunchy peanut butter.
No, they shouldn't. Children could choke on it.
I'm not saying like an infant. I'm saying like a toddler who is still growing. Mom can chew on a peanut butter just fine.
There's more protein in creamy peanut butter.
Like
and
hardly any.
growing children need protein.
It's a wash. It's like 0.2 or 0.3 grams more protein.
Where's your source?
I have it. It's the prevention.
You know, the judge doesn't
.com/food
wait for you
nutrition.
to, axed.
I don't want to be axed.
Too late.
I'd rather be spooned with a spoonful
You can't
of peanut.
spoon super chunk peanut butter because
Yes, you
there's chunks in it.
Let's move on to the my 6th argument is that crunchy peanut butter is more filling. The fact that there are actual nuts in there makes crunchy peanut butter qualify as a solid food, which will do a much better job filling your tum-tum than the soft, squishy excuse for peanut spread. And speaking of spreadability, my 7th argument.
Nope,
No,
he's done, he's done.
I am
He's
continuing my argument
No,
just
you're
like
not.
you did.
No, because you kept interrupting me. I only interrupted you one time.
So many times.
One time.
Let me finish.
Nope.
7.
Men have
Spread-
had many years to finish their arguments, and yet somehow they always come up short against the
Well,
women.
my argument was far shorter than yours, and I am very nearly done. So
That's
you need to
because
give
you
me the
suck.
opportunity. Chief Justice, I would like to request. No, I demand 2 more minutes.
You would have gotten it if you stuck with request, but you said demand, and
Oh,
now
no.
I'm not giving it to you.
Kristin, Please, I beg you, I grovel. I really need that last 2 minutes to finish my argument, or the people may not be convinced what peanut butter is actually the best peanut butter, which is obviously crunchy peanut butter, so let's get down to it.
They're already not convinced.
I'm convincing myself, which is going to convince everybody else. Argument number 7, spreadability. Anybody with any complaints that it is too difficult to spread crunchy peanut butter doesn't understand the root of the problem. If you're having issues here, it's not a problem with the spread, it's a problem with the bread. You're probably making a PBJ sandwich or other peanut butter on bread option with some chicken shit, soft ass slice of great value white bread or some other generic garbage bread brand. You gotta toast that shit. But that is an argument for another day. As
Did you
we already brought up.
discriminate against people who have to buy great value brand bread because they can't afford whatever fucking artisan brand bread that you think is better? You're a horrible person.
I'm saying whatever bread brand you buy, you can toast it. And that will spread just fine. Also, don't freeze your peanut butter. Because as long as it's sort of warm or room temperature, it spreads just fine.
Not with sharp chunks of peanut in it.
They're little chunks.
They are not okay, guys. Not little. You ready to look at some cat puke? Because here you...
Ew. Don't gag. It's not bad. Okay. For those of you watching on YouTube, look into these 2 jars.
Chunks of cat
How does that make you feel?
Ew, look at the chunks.
And look at this. Look at the smooth.
It's so much prettier.
I meant this. Look at the smooth.
It's so much prettier.
No, it looks...
This looks look.
Hey, if that looks like
Nasty.
cat vomit, smooth peanut butter looks like baby turd.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Have you seen a baby's poop?
No.
Looks just like that.
Why have you seen a baby's poop?
I've seen a baby cow poop
That's
because
not the same.
I grew up on a ranch. Was that capped?
Yep.
Okay.
It's been tossed. It is clearly inferior.
Well, what if I did this? No!
Ah!
Toss it! What was that? What did we draw? We're resorting to violence on the show, folks.
It wasn't even violent. If you want violent, I'll nut punch you. Nut!
Creamy peanut butter by itself is nothing but a viscous paste. But crunchy peanut butter is an exciting blend of everything that makes peanut butter amazing.
Cat barf.
Vote Crunchy Peanut Butter 2020. Thank you very much. This advertisement was paid for and supported by the NAPWKERGAPB, the National Association of People Who Know Everything Right and Good About Peanut Butter. Thank you.
Sounds fake.
It's a real organization.
It's fake.
And the CEO and CFO and COO.
Fake. Fake as fuck.
We're verified on Instagram. You can check that.
I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had any other kind of butter with chunks in it? Can you imagine having some cow's butter with just
it's not a nut
chunks
butter.
of cow
Ew.
in it?
That is very different.
No, it's not. Because you were like, the original intent for eating peanuts is to put it like a freaking crunchy or whatever. Well, the original intent for cows probably wasn't even meat, to be honest with you.
No,
but the original
milk.
intent for cows.
It's not cow, it's milk. Milk is already creamy.
Peanuts are the root.
Uh-huh.
And the root of milk is a cow.
The root of
So
milk
you're
is
gonna-
milk.
Where do you get milk from, you idiot?
You're saying that peanut to butter is the same as milk to butter, or sorry, as cow to butter, but it's milk to butter.
No.
Yes.
Because where do you get the peanut butter from? The peanut. Where do you get the butter from? The cow.
You get the butter from the milk.
No. You get the milk from the cow.
It's not the same thing. You don't grind up a cow to get milk.
No.
It's not the same. Would you eat / drink milk that had cow chunks in it? I'm getting very worried.
That's a stupid question. I can't have milk.
But other nut butters, I'm going to just say nut butter a couple more times, can have crunchy. And that's a more
Just
reasonable
because you
comparison.
can do something doesn't mean you should.
And just because
You can breathe, but should you?
Nope. Apparently not. Do you want to go through my arguments? Or, before we do, let's take a little ad break. And we're back. All right, are you ready to go into rebuttals?
Tired of looking at your face.
This happens every episode.
You say stupid shit every episode. You interrupt me every episode. You talk over me in every episode. You exist in every episode. I've had enough.
Of me existing?
Yeah.
All right.
It's 9:30. I want to go home.
I'm back.
Unfortunate.
Oh,
Don't leave again. I want to go home.
okay. So you're not tired of my existence?
No, I am. What did I say at the beginning of the episode? It breaks up couples.
The great peanut butter debate. It's another thing making 2020 a terrible year.
Is it a terrible year?
No, because we met this year.
I said that yesterday. Phenomenal is a strong word to use. He used phenomenal to describe crunchy peanut butter. That's
And
hyperbole.
it is.
It is not. I showed you all. It looks like cat puke. Chunky baby turd.
But yours is a smooth, creamy baby turd.
It even sounds better. Chunky baby turd. Or just smooth, creamy baby turd. Like, that sounds way better.
No, ew.
Chunky baby turd.
It sounds more regular than a
No,
smooth, creamy
ew.
one.
You don't want your baby's turd to be chunky.
You want it to be solid to some extent.
That's not the same thing as chunky. There's something wrong with your baby if half of it's solid and half of it's liquid.
Have you ever seen goat poop?
No, I don't spend my time looking at poop. Why do you spend your time looking at poop? That's just weird.
'Cause I grew up on a farm.
And so if you're on a farm, you just stand there and stare at poop all day? Like, I thought you had actual stuff to do.
You happen to see it around.
Just around.
Just around.
What a weirdo.
My point is that goat poop comes out in little chunks.
He's crying.
Crying of sadness. I'm so upset.
Let's not forget, everybody, that he attacked me by saying that I was boring. Just remember, asshole, you picked me.
I did.
And you're also quite conceited.
I mean, I picked you before I knew your preference of peanut butter. You know, in my defense.
And I picked you knowing you had all the qualities of a crunchy peanut butter lover. Conceited, loves himself, likes to refer to himself as better than everybody else.
Better than everybody else.
That's it. I'm calling it. Everybody go home. Now. You're
Please listen
probably
to the end of
already
the
at
episode.
home. So now that that's accomplished.
Oh, thank you, everybody, for listening from home.
For doing your part.
Oop. That's the second time I've hit my mic by doing something silly and dumb.
He also said that you have to be reminded that you're eating nuts when you're eating peanut butter.
Mm-hmm.
Which is so dumb. If you need help remembering that you're eating peanut butter while you're eating, or peanuts while you're eating peanut butter, you might have the Rona if you can't taste the peanuts.
It's another symptom that we never knew about.
If you've lost your sense of taste, please seek help. You've got the Rona. It's not better by itself. I am not an expert in this because someone ate all of the crunchy peanut butter on the spoon yesterday without sharing.
You had the opportunity to
No.
just a little bit ago.
I
because we had a jar in front of us, but then you threw that jar, and it's sitting right here behind us for those of you watching on YouTube.
That's the creamy.
Oh. Right there.
Gross. I'm going to keep the creamy in the shot.
No.
Hello, creamy peanut butter. Also, the word chewability is gross.
You used a gross word too. Where? Where was it? I can't remember.
Cluster? That's not gross.
Thrillist.
That's
You said barf, barf, barf.
because chunky is a gross word.
And
Fugly.
fugly. And one chunk. And
You're just proving my point that the word chunk is gross.
It's only gross when you say it.
That's fine. It's fine. Everything is fine. Austin might not exist tomorrow, but everything else is fine. He just likes to run his mouth.
I do. I can't help it.
Just like his butt runs the farts.
My butt runs the farts?
Ooh, he also has the runs constantly.
No.
He's always on the toilet.
Don't tell people these things. These lies.
Are they lies?
My poop is chunky at worst.
I'm calling the doctor. That's not healthy.
At least it's not creamy. Okay. Now that this has become part of the argument, as a human adult, would you rather have crunchy poop or creamy poop?
What the fuck kind of question is that? Crunchy?
Because we've likened both of them to disgusting bodily fluids.
I'm cutting this out.
Why?
It's disgusting.
No.
You're disgusting.
It's funny.
It's not funny. That's gross. I don't understand, boys.
Just a little bathroom humor. The majority, by a small margin of our listeners, are male, I think. I think your brother would find it funny.
I don't think so.
Richard, at me.
Ricky, don't at him. Stay in your lane.
Sorry.
You know whose
Richard
side you have to be
Jr..
on. You both know whose side you have to be on. Dick.
Technically, I'm pointing at both of us.
You know, your argument attacks itself, so I don't have to keep going.
All right, well, fine. I have a thing that you brought up earlier about the National Peanut Board. I won't argue with the National Peanut Board. You said that it would be foolish to argue with them, but your statistic is the National Peanut Board gathering other people's opinions on creamy versus crunchy peanut butter. So I won't argue with the National Peanut Board. I'll argue with all of those other people. And just because more people like smooth or creamy in the polls does not mean it's the better option. The majority of people are stupid, as we know, and don't know how to make decisions without proper guidance. So here I am to guide you in the right direction. Crunchy is the better option.
I will put up with a lot of things. What I will not put up with is you calling me stupid.
No, just the people in those polls.
I am at least 5,000 times smarter than you.
Yes.
I am many things. I'm not stupid. That title belongs to someone else in this room. It's you.
Got him. Got me.
And as the smart person in the room, I will point out to you that the name of our podcast is the Court of Public Opinion. And the public has not chosen you and will not choose you after you just called them all stupid.
They need guidance.
You played yourself, boo-boo.
I did.
Go to sleep. Good night, you nasty cat vomit eating asshole.
Well, you're a baby turd eating lovely lady person who I like. Well, now that you've heard our arguments, let's listen to a couple of expert opinions. Expert opinions. Let's hear them now.
Did you have to bounce that uncomfortably?
Yes.
All right.
Where's our first expert from?
Expert.
Expert.
Our first expert is not the Washington Post, the New York Post. In an article, what it says about you if you prefer smooth peanut butter. But it's an article about what your peanut butter choice says about you. Team Smooth, aka me. More introverted, more likely to arrive to work early, more likely to prefer staying in on a Saturday night, stressed out more easily, more likely to bail on plans. True. Team Crunchy, Team Loser Austin. More extroverted, more likely to arrive late to work, more likely to prefer going out on a Saturday night. Bro, there is a pandemic happening.
Oh.
Stay in your house. Believe more in love at first sight.
Oh.
And more likely to have been skydiving.
I have not.
You were supposed to.
That's true. But then coronavirus happened.
And I have no plans of ever jumping out of a plane.
What about a helicopter?
Nope, I don't ever want to be in a helicopter.
Oh, okay.
They don't make sense.
But physics.
Nope, they don't make sense.
Okay.
There's an episode of Modern Family where she calls it a tick 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 tick.
Sofia Vergara. Vergara?
Vergara.
Vergara.
Okay. Team Spoon, which is super random and they didn't really explain, but that means you like to eat your peanut butter off a spoon.
Team Smooth, Team Crunchy, Team Spoon.
Which is all of us, because as I said before, we all do it, and if you say you don't, you're a fucking liar. Anyway, we're all on Team Spoon, so we are all more goal-oriented. We all take more risks in personal and work life. We're all more confident. Not true. We're all happier. And we're all more likely to run a marathon. No.
What percentage of people were Team Spoon in that article? Wasn't it like 80%?
Yes. No, 60%. So if 60% are more likely to run a marathon, the majority of us
Are not.
are gonna run a marathon.
I'll do a 5K. Sign up, everyone.
We're working our way to a half marathon so we can run in the national parks.
Heck yeah.
Okay. Well, that was that. And I would say they nailed Team Smooth.
And Team Crunchy.
Team Crunchy. I don't know about the believe more in love at first sight. You don't seem like that kind of a guy.
I'm not.
So they didn't nail it.
No.
Okay.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel very warm.
My expert opinion comes from a Reddit thread. CMV, change my view. Creamy peanut butter is better than crunchy peanut butter. A Brazilian engineer replies to this, saying, "Let me take a different approach. Suppose you absolutely need some crunchy peanut butter at any cost, but hypothetically, all you can get your hands on is a jar of creamy peanut butter. Peanuts aren't available either because reasons. What could you do? Crunchy peanut butter can be processed into creamy peanut butter, but creamy peanut butter cannot be processed into crunchy peanut butter without adding additional ingredients. Therefore, crunchy is better."
Why are peanuts unavailable?
You know, because reasons. He's not wrong, though. If you do have crunchy peanut butter, you technically have both.
If you have creamy peanut butter, you can have both. They both require extra steps. This is a stupid argument.
Well, if you got a blender, but you don't have any
I
peanuts...
thought engineers were supposed to be smart. You and this Brazilian engineer dude are making really dumb arguments.
Maybe that Brazilian engineer thinks the Earth is flat.
Probably.
Who's your next expert?
Spoon University.
Oh. Are they Team Spoon?
I assume so.
Are they more likely to run a marathon?
Nope. The article is called 6 Reasons Why Creamy Peanut Butter is Better Than Crunchy.
It's very BuzzFeed.
And it's Spoon University.
I learn a lot of things from Spoon University. First course, reasons why creamy peanut butter is better than crunchy, apparently.
Yeah, I skipped to reason 2 because there's
Reason 1 was stupid?
No. Reason 2 is stupid.
Oh, it's just funnier.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Crunchy peanut butter ruins soft bread. Thrillist Kevin Alexander says, quote, "Have you ever tried to take a knife and use it to spread gravel mixed with Elmer's glue on a soft, porous surface?" To which the author of Spoon University's article adds, "Using crunchy peanut butter involves some serious risk-taking. The bread either tears or ends up as flat as cardboard due to a vigorous attempt at spreading the evil clumpy paste."
Oh.
Clumpy is gross. A squished PB&J is the equivalent of dry mac and cheese. It's sad and slightly gross. End quote. as a hot take for sure, but it's kind of true.
But like I said, you gotta toast the bread. If you toast your bread, you're not gonna have that problem.
Sometimes you don't have time to toast the bread. A lot of people are on the go. Also, a lot of people pack their kids peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and like a couple hours old toast isn't as good.
I mean, true, but my mom used to pack me PB&Js for lunch, and without fail, every time, if it was in the little plastic sandwich baggie, it would be smushed and soggy and gross. And some people liked it that way. I remember having conversations with people who were all about the like squished peanut butter bread jelly mass inside the bag, but we had to go a bit next level, and we ended up getting that plastic sandwich container that keeps your bread from getting smooshed.
My mom always packed me a hot lunch in a thermos that made everything cold.
Your thermos made things cold?
Yeah, it was supposed to keep things hot, but it was cold every time. These are some first world problems, y'all.
Welcome to First World Problems with Kristin and Austin.
I can acknowledge that I was privileged, okay?
Squished PBJ and cold thermos food.
Yeah, you didn't even acknowledge the fact that at least you got a PBJ. Some people didn't get lunch.
I am very thankful for my plastic sandwich container that kept my bread from getting smooshed.
You are like Dandy in American Horror Story Season 4.
No, he sucks.
Mother!
Oh.
I don't want to be a clown.
All right, I have another expert. It's a tweet from @Veltrida. They say, I don't want to be rude, but I've gathered enough info in my life to know that people who like chunky peanut butter like to be choked during sex. It's a bold move, Cotton. We'll see if it plays out. I don't see the logic jump, but I think it's hilarious. So thanks for the insight, Veltrida, and maybe it says something that I did not know about my sex life.
Oh, boy.
Mother, if you are listening, forgive me.
Everybody listening.
It was joke.
I
mommy.
didn't. Okay. Let me.
Moving on.
Let me.
You're hiding behind your mic like, oh, that was uncomfortable.
I'm uncomfortable, but also incapable of reading things that I can't see.
When I don't scroll.
I've got some celeb tweets and opinions. I have the Charlie Daniels from the Charlie Daniels Band.
And
he tweeted, just had a banana and crunchy peanut butter sandwich. Charlie Daniels is Team Crunchy.
Yeah, Charlie!
I've also got a quote from Michael Bloomberg, who told the NY Post, NY means New York.
Oh,
For all of you guys who don't know.
I was in the dark for
NY
sure.
Means. He told the New York Post that his last meal would be Wonder Bread, toasted, with Skippy super chunky, melted on it, slices of overripe bananas, and fresh, crisp bacon.
That's how Elvis died, I think.
That's exactly how Elvis died, except I think he's a smooth guy.
Michael, be careful. Oh, well, maybe that's the difference. And maybe that's why crunchy's better.
Nope.
Crunchy peanut butter won't kill you if you put it in a
You'll
peanut
die
butter and banana sandwich.
so much faster. Peanut butter and banana sandwich.
But if you die on the toilet, your poops will be more regular because of the fiber.
Just eat some yogurt. Jesus.
Jesus Cristo. Molly Cristo.
Holy Cristo. Please read your meme.
My next expert opinion is a meme. We got a picture of Chris Evans. Oh, praise be. Creamy peanut butter. And then we got a picture of Robert Downey Jr. Crunchy. And then the screen title sequence of Civil War. Captain America, Civil War.
The film is named after Captain America, who's always right. Team Cap forever.
Hey, this is going to be another argument because I'm Team Tony on this.
Because you're dumb. I'm going to read y'all some normal people tweets, and then I am out of here with my expert opinions. I've got Dylan K. Ubani, who said, my mom just said that my attitude is going to put me in jail one day. Literally, all I asked for was smooth peanut butter instead of crunchy.
Dylan's got attitude asking for his creamy peanut butter. Oh, smooth peanut butter.
I feel like his mom was like, I made you lunch. And he probably said something like,
Mom, I am not a clown. I like crunchy.
no, he likes creamy.
Oh, I like creamy.
Next I've got,
I think Dylan might be a psychopath
why?
because his mom is telling him he's going to be put in jail.
Yeah, Dylan, you had to have done something to provoke that. Moms
Moms know their shit.
some moms
Except
know their
not
shit.
all moms.
And I know
Some
that
moms are
moms
terrible.
overreact to attitude, quote unquote attitude. But I feel like if they just made you a sandwich out of the kindness of their heart and you were like, can I get some creamy peanut butter instead of crunchy? I think I would also probably want to backhand you and tell you that your attitude is going to put you in jail one day.
My goodness. And
Just
for the
take
record,
the sandwich. It's free.
for the record, I said some moms are terrible. I do not think my mom or most moms that I know are terrible. Just trying to save face with all the moms out there who should be eating more crunchy peanut butter because it's better.
That's only
in
for
the growing
pregnant
phase because of
women.
them folates.
You're so annoying.
I know.
Next, I have at Eric
Eric Frunhapfel.
Frunapfel.
Just like that.
He says, seriously, if you prefer crunchy peanut butter over regular, I can only assume you are a communist and support socialist economic practices. Because those two things definitely go together.
I prefer socially liberal
And
fiscally conservative. Thank you, Eric Friedrich.
And it totally corresponds to your choice in peanut butter.
Them commie bastards in there all their crunchy peanut butter.
No. Don't make that face. I have a tweet from at Mufasta _. Mufasta. And he says, owning chunky peanut butter should be illegal. You're going to jail.
We're breaking the law.
Not
You can
me.
See it if
I
you're
don't-
watching YouTube.
I
It's
don't
right there.
Own the chunky peanut butter. I don't think being in the same room as chunky peanut butter has the same consequences as owning the chunky peanut butter. I
Guilty
did
by
not
association?
buy that. No,
You're an accomplice.
I didn't go with you
You're
to.
an accessory after the fact.
Why do you have to talk over me?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. This last one is from at Solo Liam Stan, which I can only assume has to do with One Direction or Liam Hemsworth, which is still creepy that your name is at Solo Liam Stan because my imagination
Like
can
we
go.
stand for Solo Liam?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
which is not nice.
I don't know what it means.
It could mean either they want him to be single or they want him to go without the band.
Oh.
Either way, not nice. Be nice to people. Anyway, Solo Liam Stan says, I can't date someone that likes chunky peanut butter like I'd rather cut my toes off. It's all one sentence and it's all caps. And it's ma, not my. It's
I'd
ma.
M-U.
I'd rather cut my toes off.
That was good.
But he can't. They can't date someone that likes chunky peanut butter because they would rather cut their toes off. Did you write that?
No.
Oh wait, I would have had to write that. I don't want to cut my toes off.
I wouldn't do it.
I think it's okay to have a difference of opinion in peanut butter. What you can't have a difference in opinion of is Team Cap or Team Iron Man. What do you got?
I'm going to go ahead and read these strong opinions, and then I'll give you the Quora article.
Oh,
How dat? How about that?
kind. How about that?
Because you found it, and you deserve to tell it.
I didn't find the core article.
Well, you
I read through it.
while I was researching my own argument, so you still deserve it. My next expert are some strong opinions from medium.com/730/DC creamy versus crunchy, the great peanut butter debate. Somebody here says, only monsters eat
Pee?
Only monsters eat pea. Quote, only monsters eat crunchy peanut butter. Butter is in the title. It should be smooth. You don't want lumps of fat in your regular butter, do
Lumps
ya?
of fat! That's what I meant, not chunks of cow, lumps of fat. Either way, it's gross.
So my explanation earlier was found.
Nobody asked you to explain anything. Stop mansplaining things, because it really just not only pisses me off, but it pisses all of the women off.
Sorry, women. If they watch the YouTube and don't like my mustache, then
Nobody likes your mustache but me.
we're at a loss. We have another quote from this medium.com article. Quote, people who like smooth peanut butter are serial
I
killers.
told you not to tell anyone. Why did you sell me out like that?
I didn't. It's this expert opinion from medium.com.
You submitted that.
Mm-mm.
Liar.
Mm-mm.
Liar.
And one more quote from this same article. Quote, one time, as a child, I lost a tooth while eating PB&J. Anytime I've accidentally had crunchy since then, it evokes the sensation of eating my own teeth. Take that, crunchy lovers!
That's disgusting.
Have you ever seen or heard of the movie Darkness Falls?
No.
It's a horror story about the tooth fairy, and she steals the children's teeth, and if they see her, they die. But at the very end of the film,
That's not
she has
fair.
a creepy porcelain mask on, and you find out that when they knock the mask off, spoiler alert, they beat her, there are teeth underneath the mask embedded into her flesh.
That's disgusting.
So this is kind of the same.
This had nothing to do with the tooth fairy or your creepy ass story.
Nah, but eating your own teeth sounds just as gross.
Huh?
Sometimes I like telling stories that have nothing to do with anything, and I just do it for the sake of making people upset.
I'm currently trying to remember the last time I lost a tooth.
Hopefully a while back. Got all them baby teeth going, but you're gonna lose 2 more. Maybe up to 4 more, depending.
I think I would rather cut my toes off.
And we got one last expert opinion. Who's it
Quora!
coming from?
I've got a
Hey.
Quora article. Which is better, crunchy or creamy peanut butter, and why? Ryan Steiner says, crunchy by far. It's the only food I can think of that gives you the main ingredient twice, while maintaining delicious integrity. It is a sensual mix of smooth and crunchy.
Oh.
3 cheers to the enterprising soul who said, you know what peanut butter needs? More peanuts. If you'll excuse me, I'll be over here making a peanut butter and peanut butter sandwich. That's just a peanut butter sandwich.
I'm gonna assume he meant a peanut butter and peanut sandwich.
Yeah, but he messed up because it's just a peanut butter sandwich.
Hey, can't give the guy too many demerits for, typing an extra word. He's at least on the right side of this argument.
I will give him a billion demerits because writing in the legal profession is everything. If you mess up one word, you mess up the whole case or the whole deal.
Well, I'm not a legal professional,
So,
so I don't have to worry about
Ryan,
that, do I?
you lost your case because you put peanut butter twice.
I like you, Ryan.
There's a reason you're not in the legal profession, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
It's because you can't words.
I definitely can't words, and I definitely can't remember things, and having to have any amount of recall to a prior case, that'd be futile.
This next one is from Simone Runyon, landlord at Runyon Properties and owner of Taxi by Simone. She says,
She's a business owner. I believe her.
crunchy peanut butter is so wonderful. When I was a kid, for some reason, my mom only bought the smooth kind. As an adult, I always buy crunchy, unless it's for a recipe. And I feel kind of guilty pleasure for asserting my independence. I feel kind of a guilty pleasure for asserting my independence.
Okay.
I wonder how old Simone is. It's a weird thing to hold on to for like 50 years if she's 50.
I mean, she's got 2 businesses, so she's got to be getting up there in years. Unless she was like a self-starter at 14, like Hamilton.
A guilty pleasure, though? When does it stop being guilty? Like, when did you...
Yeah, get over your shame, Simone. It's okay to like crunchy peanut butter
It's
and
really
be
not.
loud and proud with it.
It's really... Don't be loud.
So it's people like you who are making her feel guilty.
It's not cool to be loud. Because then I have to edit and your voice echoes.
Oh, man, look at all them peaks. Peaks!
This next one comes from Scott D. Feldstein, or Steen, an enthusiastic television-taught home cook. He says, Chunky forever. Do not listen to those who are obviously profoundly lost in their creamy ignorance. I picked this one because creamy ignorance is really gross sounding.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
Ignorance is bliss, not cream.
Cream is bliss. Creamy bliss or creamy ignorance? Viscous paste.
Ew.
Well, those are all of our expert opinions. So the verdict is Kristin wins, per usual. But that's not true, because I'm a winner. Let me
Who told
redo
you
that.
your mama?
My mother is a lovely lady.
No one said she wasn't, but did she tell you were a winner?
Not gonna tell you what my mother tells me.
I'll just ask her myself.
Very well. What's our legitimate verdict? Because,
I won.
I mean, I like both.
I always win.
It's true.
You know what won?
Because women are always right.
But
Am I right?
But do you know what won?
What?
These nuts.
Oh my god.
Shut up.
Now that's the first time you've used a corny ass joke on me, I think. At least on air.
It was an internet joke.
That was solid.
You knew it was coming.
I wish I'd anticipated it, but I wasn't thinking of it at all. Well done, Kristin. Well done. You made me feel weird about humor.
What?
How do we get out of this? How do we segue out of this?
If you disagree with my conclusion that D's nuts won, let me know by sending us an email to CoPOPod@gmail.com. That is CoPOPOD@gmail.com. If you'd like to send us an argument, if you would like to send us argument topic suggestions for future episodes, send an email with debate about it in the subject line.
Or you can put Court of Appeal in the subject line if you want to share any of your thoughts or updates or additional argument points for our for our blah 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 blah.
Let's try that again. If you disagree with me that these nuts let us know by sending an email to CoPOPOD@gmail.com. Please stop laughing. Why are you still laughing?
Because D's nuts really got me. And follow us on Instagram @CoPOPod, CoPOPOD.
What are we arguing next week?
Well, Kristin, in preparation for Franchise Appreciation Day next Saturday, we'll be arguing what is the best fast food franchise. What is the best fast food franchise?
That is correct. But we are keeping it to national chains. So sorry, In-N-Out, you're out.
Yeah, we didn't want to marginalize our audience and make anybody feel unincluded.
That also means Whataburger is out.
Sorry, Whataburger.
Not sorry.
But thank you, everyone, for listening. We really appreciate it, listening or watching on YouTube. So go ahead and pop into Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts and leave the Court of Public Opinion 5 stars and tell your friends.
Please. And please leave a written review as well. This will really help the podcast spread and enables us to see what you really think of the show.
And lastly, a very special thanks to Nathan Rees for designing the Court of Public Opinion podcast logo, AJ Curtin for writing, recording, and producing our theme music, and Gerard Marquez for being the voice of our bailiff at the beginning of every episode. Really appreciate you guys' contributions, so thank you.
And
That's all we got, folks.
we'll see you next week.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bow, dow, dow, dow.